Welcome to the Accounting Insiders podcast. I'm Gary Dehart, publisher of Insightful Accountant, and today my guest is Jennie Moore of Ignition. Welcome.
Yes, thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Thanks for taking some time. So we kind of went over what we're going to talk about, but there's always one that I throw in there that I don't tell people.
Uh-oh.
So
here we go. What is it?
It's a trick question.
Okay.
Not too tricky, but because we want to remain friends. So who is your favorite cartoon character?
Oh my gosh, my favorite cartoon character. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to say Daffy Duck.
Daffy Duck.
It just makes me laugh.
It's so funny.
Yeah,
everybody but two.
Really?
Have been Looney Tunes.
But
Everybody but two. One wasn't even a cartoon character, and the other one was one I've never heard of.
Oh,
but it was like a European one.
Oh, maybe
So.
Maybe that's like a personality thing. I'm sure there's like a personality test for like a Looney Tune. So
yes, I was only a psychiatrist, and we can make something out of this. I like Bugs Bunny. Okay. Bugs Bunny's mine, so I don't know what that tells me about me.
Bugs Bunny's great. Yeah,
he's awesome.
Yeah.
So, all right. So what we're talking about today is optimizing your sales process with a stellar proposal. So we'll get into that. Before we dive into that, though, tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, a little bit of your background, etc.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me. So my name is Jennie Moore, and currently I am the partnerships manager for Ignition. But before that, I'm just like many people that are listening to your podcast. I'm actually a practice owner as well. I own and operate a boutique bookkeeping firm in Ontario, Canada. We have clients in Canada and the United States, and we've been in practice for 16 years. So next stages for me, the reason why looking at Ignition was we've been using their products since 2016, and I can't wait to tell you why.
I've seen a lot of change there.
Yeah. Oh yes, there's been a lot of change with Ignition. And just to debunk any myths, we were previously known as Practice Ignition. Right. We've simply just dropped the practice, and we are just simply known as Ignition. Still the same product, powered by the same great people.
But no spacesuits.
No spacesuits. I know. Guy is keeping them locked. Yeah.
Only Guy can wear the spacesuits.
Maybe we'll make a vintage, reunion tour or something.
That's a good idea,
that might be kind of neat.
Bring him back out. Bring Guy.
Yeah.
With a little less hair.
Wearing one. I think it'd be great.
Yeah. Well, everybody remembers it, right?
Yeah. It was very impactful. We still get a lot of comments about that to this day.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yes. Yeah.
So, all right. So, and you've been with Ignition how long?
For now, 2.5 years.
Okay.
So my original role was helping with the education to my accounting peers during, dare we say COVID? Can we say that word? It's like a swear jar. We got to put a nickel somewhere.
Now it's a four-letter word.
It's a four-letter word.
Right.
And what I really liked about that period was being able to work with an amazing product that I've used long-term, being able to work with my accounting peers, and it was just a natural progression into the partnerships manager role.
Yeah. And so how do you split your time? Now we're diving really in. How do you split your time between a firm and this role?
A lot of prioritizing. So I'm big on goals, if anyone knows me. I'm also big on cupcakes, but goals are really important. So every day I start the day with an intent.
And goals.
Yeah, I think I run on cupcakes, coffee, and goals. But I'll be honest with you, with my firm, the way I've set it up is to work virtually and to work with solid processes and technology in place. So I like to say that my practice is very much like my 16-year-old daughter. It comes to me when it has problems, and it's usually requiring my credit card.
Right. Well, there you go. I don't have a 16-year-old daughter, but I have a 19 and 17-year-old sons.
So you can relate to this,
absolutely.
Right? Exactly.
In fact, one of them is at the beach now, and he was texting yesterday.
Yep. Need money.
I need money. I'm out. I can't help you. I'm at a trade show.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use that excuse as long as I can.
Exactly.
And so hobbies.
Yes.
What do you do?
What do you like to do? Well, I like to have fun. Obviously.
Well,
I like video, I like podcasts and everything like that, but I'm also an adult figure skater.
Oh.
So, exactly. I've been figure skating for, my goodness, I'm 43, so a very long time. Started when I was very young, about 5 years old, and now I'm on an adult synchro team, and we compete. There's quite a few of us. We're having a lot of fun doing that. I've competed individually, and it's been a great way to be able to disconnect from everyday life, because you really need to focus when you're figure skating.
Yeah, I imagine, right?
Like with blades and spinning, it's a great way to detach from the practice, detach from the world, and you just have fun on the ice. And so that's a little bit about me.
Oh,
yeah.
Now, have you, we're at Scaling New Heights 2022, and so have you talked to Stella about that, Gainer's daughter?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, so she's a skater.
No way.
That's what she does. Yeah,
oh my gosh, small world.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to talk to her.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know skating, but I think she's pairs or.
Okay, yeah,
so.
yeah, awesome.
But yeah, that's what she does.
incredible.
We'll send her over your way if she doesn't come back before then. And so, so we're talking about stellar proposal. So what does that mean, right? I mean, I know what I think it means.
Yeah.
But what does that mean to a practitioner?
I think more importantly is what does it mean to our clients? So like our clients are looking for ways to obtain our services. And I actually spoke on the main stage about a $12,000 mistake I made in my practice. So in 2016, we all know that it was the age of disruption, cloud accounting and apps and everything like that. And what I had at the time was not a stellar proposal process. So let me kind of walk you through that. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Because I think
absolutely.
a journey is the best way to explain how to make a stellar proposal process.
Tell a story, right?
And basically learn from my mistake. So save you some pain. So at that time, I would say that my proposal process was traditional, but it worked. I would, draft up an engagement in Word. That's what I had. My workflows were also in Excel. And, I would go through it. I would have a template, modify it. It would take a lot of time. And I didn't have a lot of time on my hands. I had 3 kids at home. I could only work 22 hours a week. It was really difficult. So sometimes late at night, I'd be waking up my husband to double check, did I miss something in this engagement? I wouldn't recommend doing that. But at the end of the day, the process that I had was doing it in Word, exporting it to some sort of digital platform, getting a signature, then going back and forth about payments. It was really difficult. But at the time, that's what I thought, hey, I was being pretty groovy.
Right.
I thought it was great. Until this one client came to me. We were attracting some great clients because we were adopting cloud technology. We're creating a brand for ourselves. And they wanted us to solve their problems. And basically what happened is we went through all the discovery calls and the nurturing, and I knew exactly what apps they needed. I even had a beautiful mind map. I had it color coordinated. I had the processes, and I sent out the proposal, but didn't hear anything back. Didn't get that signature that was supposed to come back. And so
You need that.
right, you kind of need that to start work, because that's important.
Yep.
We shouldn't be doing work without an agreement in place.
Absolutely
Put
not.
your firm at risk. And so what had happened from this experience is I didn't get the contract. I didn't get the scope. And we were, really thinking that this was going to happen. At $12,000 was it was a chunk of change for me back then.
Right.
And
It's a chunk of change for me now.
You know what? I would say it's a chunk of change for us right now.
I'll take it, absolutely,
Yeah, I
sure.
will take $12,000, right? And so me being a candid Canadian, I asked for the feedback. Like, why? Why didn't we get the engagement? I'm curious. I don't know what to fix if I don't know what the problem is. What have we done wrong? It wasn't price. Price was in line. It wasn't the scope. The scope was in line. It was our proposal. Our proposal didn't match our brands. It didn't match our competence. And how I know this is the feedback I got from this prospect to say, well, Jenny, how are you supposed to fix our problems if you haven't even fixed your own proposal process?
Wow.
Ouch.
Yeah, that hurts. But it's good feedback. At least they gave you feedback, right? That's probably one of the harder things, is to get people to actually tell you the truth.
You need that. And sometimes it takes a very humble point of view. You have to be willing to have some grit and fix it.
Right.
And so that's when I started with Ignition, was actually in 2016. I am still a paying customer, even though I work for Ignition.
Yeah.
I still pay my own bills.
At least you get a discount, right?
No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I believe in paying for product, for what makes sense. And for us, the product is able to close deals faster. It saves me time. I'm able to work with Ignition.
Right.
And most importantly, which we'll talk about a little bit later, keeps us in line to our workflows.
Right.
So that's a little bit, when you're looking for a stellar proposal and creating that, you want to make sure that it's working for your customers, that it's bringing forward your voice, your competency, and that it's a digital, fluid, easy experience. But also at the same time, you want to make sure it's bringing in the compliance side of it to protect you. And how we're able to do that is in Ignition.
Gotcha. And they're constantly testing the process, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
And improving and tweaking.
Oh, yes.
Is
It's not
everybody
to hear from me?
Right, yeah. And where are the offices? And obviously Canada.
Yes, we're
And
actually.
then, is there anybody in Australia still? Or
Absolutely.
Okay.
We are a global product, and we have locations throughout the world. We have support throughout the world. We were first founded, obviously, in Australia, but we have a head office now in Canada, and we work throughout the Americas. We also have an office in the UK as well, and we also are in South Africa as well. and we all work as a team. We all work without ego to better the accounting experience for our partners.
And it started, didn't they start attached to Xero first and then moved over to QBO, or?
Yeah, so I would say like more or less in Australia, there's different financial management systems that are a little bit more popular in one area than the other. So Xero, it was a little bit more popular in that particular side of the world. And so we did have an integration with Xero, I think primarily, but quickly obviously adopted QuickBooks Online because it made sense. And obviously here in the Americas, QuickBooks Online is a crowd pleaser.
It's the 800-pound gorilla, right?
It is, and it makes sense, right? So we're so pleased to be integrated with QuickBooks Online, so much further that we've taken our connections more than just the accounting software. So our invoice is pushed to QuickBooks Online and everything reconciles through to your portal, but we also integrate with Intuit Practice Management. And that's how we're able to keep track of your workflows in line with your scope. So our relationship is very tight on that front as well.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And it was interesting, we did a webinar last week that was around practice management, and the question was asked, you know, it was about, I can't remember how it was worded, but it was basically, one was, do you use a practice management solution?
You have to use a practice management solution.
50% of the people don't.
Yeah, I know, but you have to.
I don't know how you can't, right? And then, and then I think of the 50% who use a practice management solution,
did not.
Like half of those people weren't really happy with it.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how, and it goes back to your story, right? If my solution is putting a Word document out there, what is it saying about me?
Like, Word is great. Like, I still use Word and I still use Excel, but they're not. It's not built to be your brands. It's not built to be your workflows. It's not built for practice management. It's built for Microsoft, right?
Yeah.
And so when you pick a proposal platform, and when you pick a workflow platform, so I've mentioned we are Ignition, and we integrate with apps like Intuit Practice Management, Carbon, Xero Practice Manager, or anything with a Zap. You want to make sure that companies are building these two products really well and that they're integrating and talking together. The main thing you want to do is make sure that what you're quoting on with your scope is matching your workflows. Can I get a little more granular on that?
Yep, please.
Because this is the super important stuff. There's a very well-known topic right now. We talk about scope creep. And I love scope creep. I love it. I don't hate it. I don't shun it. I don't get angry about it. Scope creep is our clients asking us to do more. Scope creep is them looking to us because we solve problems.
Right.
And they just simply want us to do more. So what we do within our organization, within more details, and how I educate through Ignition is embrace scope creep, but make sure you have the systems in place to check on it.
Right.
And so what you want to do is with your workflow platform, let's just say Intuit Practice Management, your team will only work on the tasks that are in Intuit Practice Management. If there is a new bank account, a new app, a new e-commerce platform, they are not to do that. What they should do is communicate with you, the practice owner, so that you can have a conversation with that client and change the scope in Ignition. That way you're tying your revenues to your workflows, and that's how you make money.
Makes sense to me. And we should be making money, right? I mean, we're working to make money.
Too. Like, I have a few clients. I have one client that will say, Jenny, I have some scope creep for you. But none of the other ones will. But they know, because we've educated them, that we are going to grow our services because we're going to help them grow.
Right.
And if you are adopters of value pricing with like Ron Baker, we've had so many sessions here with Ron Baker, he's amazing. You want to protect that profit margin, because just because you're quoting on bookkeeping or tax, that's not all you do. There's so many tasks involved in that require different price points, and it's always about communication with your client. Our app helps you have those healthy communications with your client. They help you be on brand. They help you sell your value and also keep you tight with your workflows and get paid. That's important. We need to get paid. Most importantly, compliant. We shall not do work that we are not engaged to do to limit our exposure to liability. Correct? So we don't want our team members working on stuff that we haven't been formally agreed to do. Apps like Intuit Practice Management and Ignition keep that nice and tidy for you, so you can focus on your business relationships with your clients, less on your bookkeeping. On your own bookkeeping, that is. Sometimes we're our own worst mechanics, I find.
I imagine so, right? Just like, we're like a, what is the Cobblers, kids have no shoes, right? Kind of thing.
Absolutely. And you know, and this is the truth. As accounting professionals, I've been speaking to many of my peers here at Scaling New Heights, and I helped a lovely practice owner yesterday get going with Ignition. They have started with Carbon. They're 10 months behind in their billing. 10 months he has not put an invoice out. 10 months he has not received money. That's a lot.
Yeah. It's a long time
That's a lot.
to float.
So the whole point of going on Ignition was to do the reoccurring revenue model, so it reconciles back into QuickBooks Online, the payments, the invoicing, and his team can work on the workflows. And honestly, I think as accounting professionals, we've all put our heart on our sleeve. We've put our practices on the back burner and everyone else's business on the front burner, that we haven't, we feel it's an awkward conversation to bring up payment right now. It's not. If you are needing to succeed in life and in business, you need to make sure you're paid, and that's
got to get paid.
That's just a fact of life.
Right.
Yeah.
Have to get paid. So it's starting to get a little bit loud here on the show floor. So one thing I did want to see if you could throw out there, and that was the key points that a practitioner wants to think about when building out that stellar proposal.
Yeah.
Is there like a here's my 5 checklist kind of thing, or?
Yeah, I would say, and it's very exciting times here at Scaling New Heights. So if you didn't come this year, come next year. You missed it, and it's great. So I'll try and speak up a little bit, but hey guys, I think you'll get the gist of the conversation here. I would say with your proposal, one thing you want to do is sell virtually. Okay, because it's very difficult to meet like person to person. This is great. This is great. But we're not able to meet person to person with every client. Like I know myself, I live in Canada. I have clients in the US. Well, I'm not hopping on a plane for a 5-minute signature.
Right.
So you want to make sure that whatever proposal process you pick, whether it's Ignition or something else, just make sure it enables your brand, that you can still communicate with your client while they're making that difficult decision. We do change orders for $3,000 sometimes. Our Ignition process helps them through that. They have that comfort of our voice as they're making this monetary decision that I would say is quite large.
Right,
$3,000 a month?
Absolutely.
I'd say that's enough. But also, as you're building out a proposal, please remember, accounting professional friends, you don't just do, this is a phrase I always hear, you don't just do bookkeeping. You don't just do tax.
Right.
You don't just do consulting. Break it out, literally break it out. And within our product,
so line items.
Yeah, line items to payroll, how many employees. We have this stuff ready for you in Ignition. I'm gonna be honest with you. We've thought about it, myself, heads of accounting, all of our amazing development, we've worked together to make it easier for you to help understand what you do. Because as myself having the same problem, and many of the people I speak to, we know what the result is, but sometimes we can't articulate what we actually do. What are the steps? And it's important when you create a stellar proposal that you're indicating exactly what service line items you're doing so that they match well to your workflows.
And that makes a lot of sense. Even thinking like the contracts that we get in, ours are completely different than an accountant.
Similar in a way.
But now we've got them finally dialed in through, we use Zoho. But through Zoho, now somebody signs a contract and the contract has all the bits and pieces, and now it gets pushed into Zoho, and we know these are the 22 deliverables that we have for our customer base. And it's helped us. Now we still got to get better at managing the process.
That's always a beast that you have to tame. You're never,
And so, all right, well, thank you so much. We're going to wrap it up.
Thank you for your time.
Absolutely.
I appreciate being here.
It was good to see you again.
Everybody.
And we will see you soon. Thank you.